Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to MFSN, the show. We are here to do our Thursday weekly waiver wire show, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. I am joined on the West Coast by the one, the only, the great Ross the Boss. Hey, Ross, how you doing?
Hey, everybody. Ross the Boss coming live from La La, California, Lipstick City, we call it. And yes, there's a lot of day baseball today, and there's only one night game, Mets and Braves. So if you want to watch baseball, you better watch it in the morning because you're not going to watch it at night. There's only one game.
Yeah. So we saw some great Jacob Miserowski. Again, what is he now? 16 innings, only 2 earned runs on the year. Like, he just seems to be doing great. He had another great outing last night. He went head to head with Paul Skeens, I believe, correct?
Yeah, Paul Skeens and him went head to head, and it was a pretty good pitching matchup. I mean, Pittsburgh is just horrible. They have two players, Skeens and O'Neill, and that's it.
Yeah.
O'Neill, Cruz, and Paul Skeens. That's the team. The rest of the guys are just,
along for the ride, huh?
Just getting a paycheck. So Paul Skeens, yes. Jacob Miserowski, yes. They're both top tier guys in the National League.
And we talked on Monday about the debut of Chase Burns. It was pretty good. It kind of went the way I said. I said he could strike out a lot, but he was probably going to give up a few runs. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, but 8 Ks.
Yeah, he started. I think in like 3 innings, he had 7 Ks. Am I right? I mean, he started out.
I think he struck out the first 5 batters of the game.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's the real deal. I mean, like you mentioned, he's the number 1 prospect in the Reds organization, and he's, to me, I mean, with Hunter Green hurt and not playing in the past month, I mean, this hopefully is the Red savior. We'll see what happens. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's amazing the success of he and Miserowski coming up. The young guys have had this year, so it's been fun to watch. All right, Ross? Let's give the people a quick hitter here. Give me a couple names going into this weekend that you are considering adding to your roster.
This guy's like, if you go to your waiver wire, he's either been on the waiver wire or he just was taken and people waive him. It just depends who's hurt and not hurt. But Friedlick of the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, this guy, pretty consistent. I mean, he doesn't really get cold streaks. I mean, he's hitting .296 for the year. He has 4 home runs, 32 RBIs. And, Milwaukee scores runs. I mean, they're a team that likes to score, and they're a team to me that I feel, they could win that. They can win the Central. I mean, they could, but the Cubs are playing good baseball too, so we'll see what happens. But Friedlick to me is pretty good pickup for the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's not going to wow you in the power department, but he gets on base, he scores run, he steals bags. So,
and Milwaukee plays the Rockies this weekend. So
yeah, and Milwaukee knows how to manufacture runs, which is good for a player like him. Yeah. So that's a great pick. How about a pitcher? You have any pitchers you're looking at?
I was looking at pitchers. I've been saying this guy for a while. If you need saves, Shelby Miller of Arizona.
Yeah.
He is getting saves in masses, and I think the Diamondbacks are trusting him to be the closer now. I mean, I feel like he's the guy. His ERA is like under 2, I think, and his WHIP is close to 1. Shelby Miller, if you need a reliever, he's the guy I like a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to name 2 Angels. The first batter is our cover boy, Joe Adell. This guy was a top prospect, I don't know, 4 years ago, something like that. Yeah. When he came up, it was with all this fanfare, how he was going to kind of be the third piece to that Angels team with Trout and Ohtani that was going to finally get them successful. And he was bad. I mean, for the first few years, he was up and back because he could never consistently produce. Well, this year, he's only 36% owned, and I think it's because a lot of people were burned by those first few years and afraid to get their hopes up. But I mean, if you look at this guy, in the last month, he is on the season, he's the 150th best, which doesn't sound great, but 17 home runs and 41 RBIs. But that was after a cold start. In the last month, He's number 11 on the Yahoo rankings for standard 5x5 roto with a batting over 280, has double-digit home runs in the last month. This guy is for real, and he's actually one of those players who I think at this point you can trust enough to pick up and know he's going to stay on your roster for the rest of the year. I really think he's that good. And then on the other side, on the pitching side, you've brought him up before, and he was a little bit inconsistent, so we never fully suggested him. But Jose Soriano has been pretty darn good. He's not great strikeout numbers in that respect, so he might not pass the entire Dan Smell test. But in the last month, he also has more than a strikeout per inning, a 2.67 ERA, and only a 1.19 WHIP with 5 starts. And so he's putting the numbers together. He's been doing it consistently now for a month. I think that passes any test of whether it's a hot streak or this guy is just starting to learn how to pitch. So those are two guys I'm really looking at as potential players to pick up and keep on your roster.
No, I like it. And another guy, if you need a first baseman, they play the Marlins this weekend. Is Pavin Smith is kind of on fire the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
He's been a mainstay in that Arizona lineup. He's been playing almost every day. I mean, I know people saying he's platooning, but he's not. He's playing. And Pavin Smith playing the Marlins this week, and it could be a really good start. As we know, the Marlins pitching staff is not that great. Pretty bad, actually. And Pavin Smith, I feel, is going to have a great series against the Marlins this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, the Diamondbacks are playing really well. And so there's a lot of opportunities there for good production from a fantasy perspective. Let's see what else I have here. If there's anybody else I was really looking at. I didn't see a tremendous amount of players. I don't know if you were overwhelmed by anybody.
Well, like Gavin Smith, I like Sal Friedlick. I also like Colt Keith of the Tigers. The Tigers, as we know, they're in first place, Casey, by like, was it 9 games? I mean,
they might have the easiest lead of anybody.
I mean, and they play the Twins this weekend, and we all know the Twins probably have 1 or 2 good starters. And I know Joe Ryan pitched yesterday, so this weekend I don't think Ryan's pitching this weekend. So, which means Colt Keith, I think, will have a pretty good series. I mean, to me, he's one of these guys that can really get hot, and I think he'll do it against the Twins this weekend also.
Yeah. A guy who I was really high on at the start of the year, but started off terrible, was Lars Nootbaar, the outfielder. I just like saying his name. The outfielder for the...
I love that name. He's from where? The Netherlands? The Netherlands? Is that correct?
I know he played with Japan in the World Baseball Classic. But
yeah, that was a joke.
But he's turned it on recently and is batting over 300 this past week, has 3 home runs. If he's figured it out and put it together the way he had started to last year, and he's another player who can be a really effective pickup. On the catching front, Drake Baldwin, the rookie for Atlanta, seems to have been playing well the past couple of weeks. They're giving him some pretty steady at bats. And so there's somebody, because we're always looking for catchers who can fill in when we have the position available, struggling starters, injuries. He's a catcher I think you could certainly look to and add to the end of your roster. Yeah,
and people that you can't pick up that are just impressing me is Cal Raleigh of Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, it's like every day this guy hits a home run. I mean, it's unstoppable. And as we talked about the MVP odds, I mean, at one time, Casey, in I think May, Aaron Judge was like minus like 20,000 to win the MVP, like some crazy.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, now he's like minus 300, and in the big dumpster, that's Cal Raleigh's nickname. He's like plus 700. He's like sneaking up, and if he keeps hitting like he's hitting, he's going to be the league MVP. I mean, there's no way they can't deny this guy. Unless Judge goes crazy, but we'll see what happens. And in the National League, I mean, Ohtani, leading the National League in home runs. Yeah, he's pitching again. Yeah. But, Pete Crow Armstrong, if you look at his stats, not too bad. And if Juan Soto gets hot, he could be an MVP candidate also. So I don't know if you guys follow the MVP race. I like following it because I think it's kind of fun. But again, it should be a close race. And the whole thing about the MVP is this case, and we talk about it all the time, is injury. I mean, if Aaron Judge sprains his ankle and he's out for 3 weeks or something, or Juan Soto or somebody hurts himself, they won't win the MVP. If they're out for a long time, if they're out for like a month or 2 months, they're not going to win the MVP. Example, Ronald Acuna, who was out for the first 6 weeks of the season. Now he's killing the ball, but he's not going to win the MVP because he hasn't played this season.
Well, I mean, if he still manages to go 40-40 or something, I think he'd be in the race.
He does, but he's not going to.
But and the Braves are struggling. So, I mean, the good news for him is if suddenly the Braves get hot and end up catching up to the Mets and the Phillies in the East and maybe winning that division and making a playoff run, and it all coincided with Acuna coming back, that certainly bolsters his case. But yeah, I mean, I don't follow the MVP race that much.
I do for fun. I think it's, during the season, it's kind of fun to watch people's reactions. And I love how you can look at the odds anytime you want because of FanDuel and all those betting sites. But it's like, it just, if Judge hits a home run today, he could be back to like minus 1,300. I mean, it fluctuates so much, Casey. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. He can go 1 for 17 with 13 strikeouts and then bat 450 for a month and hit 17 bombs. So it is a hard game to predict that way. So, all right, Ross. So anything we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about this morning in LA?
No, I mean, I'm not a Dodger fan. They won last night against Colorado. Max Muncy had a grand slam.
That's his second one in a pretty short period of time.
And, this guy in our fantasy league, picked him up, and he's just like, this guy, he's a doctor. He lives in Cleveland. He's like the worst. And
he made a smart move there.
He gets so lucky with these guys. I mean, I think baseball, you get lucky with some of these guys that get hot. That's all I got to say.
Sometimes you need to be lucky. I have faith in you. All right, Ross. Well, I will see you again in a few hours. We're back here at 4:00 Eastern, 1:00 Pacific with said Cleveland doctor. Maybe he can tell us his secrets to using the waiver wire so effectively, or we'll talk about something else in sports. We'll see. Last night was the NBA draft. Maybe he wants to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sure you were watching. Did you watch the whole 3 hours of that? I heard you were like having a party at your house.
I was glued to it.
I mean, you were
I couldn't tell you what team anybody after Cooper Flagg and before Derek Queen played for. And the only reason I know Derek Queen at 13 is because he was a Terp.
And I thought he should have been top 10. I love Patrick.
Well, I don't like I don't like him in New Orleans, but that's a whole different.
No, but I thought he should have been drafted a lot higher than he was.
Yeah, he's got to develop a jump shot and maybe get a little more athletic if he wants to compete for a long term. He would have done a lot better in the 80s. How's that?
There you go.
All right, Guy. I will see you at 4:00. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or send us a message, and we'll do our best to answer them. Ross, be well.